Innocent people have rights too. While the U.S. has 5% of the world's population, it has 31% of public mass shootings. The number of public mass shootings could be reduced if we have strict background checks, prohibit the sale of assault weapons to everyday citizens, and require all permitted gun owners to successfully pass gun training classes. I believe that all we have to do is come together as a whole because it only takes one bullet to stop someone's heart forever. The number of mass shootings could be reduced if we have strict background checks. You don't need assault weapons to defend one's home from an invader. I believe that guns should be limited but not completely taken away so mass shootings don't occur as often. During the previous 29 years, mass shootings happened every 200 days on average. Reports suggest that 60% of people who commit criminal mass shootings since 1970 have displayed mental illness symptoms. John Russell Hauser, who police say shot 11 people, killing 2 of them in a Louisiana movie theater on July 24, 2015, before killing himself, was treated for mental health issues in 2008 and 2009. Currently, a major background check loophole, variation in state laws, and incomplete record sharing leave openings for people with mental illnesses to purchase guns. Only 18 states require background checks to buy a gun from any seller. This year, 2016, needs to be the year that we change that 18 to a larger number. We can't wait any longer. I think that if every gun show or store that sells a gun is required to do a strict background check, America would be a safer place and would save thousands of lives within a short time period. You may be one of those people who think gun control is not necessary and that people are just going to find another way to get a gun, but I think that if the government really puts their mind to it, they can prevent criminals from getting guns illegally. President Obama's proposed executive order would require the Social Security Administration to link mental health records with criminal background check data. Gun ownership should be more tightly controlled. Owning a gun should be one of the highest privileges that a person can have, and people should not be offended if some level of government regulation is in place. This just ensures that everyone in the society is equally protected and no one is subjected to undue violence. When President Obama first unveiled his gun control proposals recommending a ban on assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, and better background checks, there seemed to be a momentum behind the effort. But then the proposals ran into a wall. Do we really want that to happen, especially now that researchers found that many shooters in the United States are mentally ill and that the United States on average has a mass shooting every 200 days? Gun ownership should be more tightly controlled. This is why every United States citizen should not be allowed to just walk into any store like Walmart and buy a gun. We need restrictions. Walmart, the nation's largest seller of guns and ammo, announced that they would stop the sale of assault rifles, semi-automatic shotguns, and other firearms commonly used in mass shootings when their stores restock with fall merchandise. The Second Amendment guarantees nothing but the importance of maintaining a well-armed militia and allowing members of that militia to own guns. Everything else is judicial interpretation. Until the middle of the 20th century, the Second Amendment wasn't used to protect private gun ownership. Protecting human life would seem to be the first principle of any organization. Responsible gun control doesn't violate the Bill of Rights. There's no justification for owning an assault rifle or for opposing background checks. We need gun ownership to be more tightly controlled, as Philip Yan stated in his poem called Gun Control. The question of guns is doing its rounds. Some would argue that safety grounds. Others would say there's no other way. Then there are others who say make a new way. Guns or no guns, the president's men need to keep guns. But the children, women, don't bring guns. A constant battle and a struggle of good and evil. Good has to double, evil spells trouble. Yes, pull the trigger. Guns are the instrument of death. Gun control is necessary, and delay means more death and tragedy. You can have all the gun control possible in the country, but you need to enforce it. People are going to find a way to protect themselves. We need to recognize that bad people are doing bad things with these weapons. It's not the law-abiding citizens whose hobby is collecting guns. I believe that one way to help protect each other is take gun training classes. If we take gun training classes, then the community will have more knowledge about guns and how to protect each other if we did have another mass shooting. Firearm safety classes normally consist of a minimum of 12 hours of classroom and field experiences in the safe handling of firearm and hunter responsibilities. The field experience allows students and adults to learn and demonstrate commonly accepted principles of safety in hunting and handling of firearms. The United States has more guns than any other country in the world. There are an estimated of 270 million to 310 million firearms in circulation in the United States, with the American population at 318.9 million, which breaks down to almost one firearm for every American citizen. Although only 1/3 of Americans say that they or someone in their home owns a gun. With these gun training classes, the United States can also say that they have the most knowledge about guns, which could help prevent mass shootings. One argument against gun control is that in some states with the most armed citizens, you have the lowest violent crime rate. But I think that this says something about the United States, is that we need more gun training classes and to be careful on how and what we aim our guns at. It seems ridiculous that you can be in one state and buy a firearm with your driver's license, and then in the next state it's totally illegal. There are real problems to that, but as soon as you bring up the subject and say gun control, it raises a red flag. I believe that the number of public mass shootings could be reduced if we have strict background checks, prohibit the sale of assault weapons to everyday citizens, and required all permitted gun owners to take gun training classes. These are all reasons why we need gun ownership to be more tightly controlled. The basic question of how crimes come about is simple. There exists a group of people who desire something illegal or desire something in a criminal fashion. Given that they have this motivation, it should not be easy for them to get what they want. Guns greatly aid the criminal obtaining what they want, and it would seem to be simple to understand that criminals will succeed in their actions if they obtain guns easily. This is why we need gun ownership to be more tightly controlled. Do you really want to have to look over your shoulder for the rest of your life, knowing that any stranger or acquaintance you run into could have you in their sights as their next victim? Our country needs to come together today, not tomorrow or the next day, but today, and put an end to unnecessary shootings and mass killings.